they may be Togolese, they may be Burkinabes, they may be Nigerians or Malians, but they are also Akans, they are Kassines, they are Guans, they are Ewes, they are Nzemes, they are Hauses, they are Moshis and Gurmes, because we are all part of one another, one big family. With the increase of the climate crisis, and as the waters grow warmer, melting the Arctic ice and permafrost, there's a greater likelihood for viruses that have been frozen and thought to be extinct for decades, perhaps even centuries, to begin to spread and create another global pandemic. The changing climate conditions, increased population density in urban areas, and mass international travel are enabling existing viruses to spread and mutate at a faster and faster rate than they did before. This is a serious challenge. Let us not forget the toll that the past epidemics of viruses like Ebola, COVID, and Mpox have taken on the families and communities and medical infrastructure in several of our neighboring countries and in the sub-region. Let us also not forget how swiftly and completely the COVID pandemic brought the entire world to a screeching halt. My government will be working diligently to strengthen our public health systems while monitoring the global health situation so that when, and not if, but when the next pandemic or epidemic occurs, the loss of lives in Ghana will be minimal. The larger world exists around us and to some extent within us. While we cannot and should never use it as an excuse to stray from the direct and immediate needs of Ghana for the well-being of our citizens, we must also bear in mind that the affairs of the world, if we care to shape, lessen, avoid, or even at the other end of things, maximize the effect they have on us. My brothers and sisters, barely a month ago, we held historic elections that have caused dramatic shifts in our political landscape. I feel greatly honored that you, my compatriots, considered me worthy of receiving such an unprecedented and overwhelming mandate to steer the affairs of our beloved nation at this critical time in our history. The magnitude of this victory in the presidential elections and the gains that were made by my party, the National Democratic Congress, in the parliamentary elections naturally and justifiably resulted in great joy and celebration across our country, Ghana. But celebrations, no matter how justified and how well earned, must be supplanted by discernment, sobriety, and deeper insights into why we received this kind of mandate in the first place. By voting as you did on December 7th, the Ghanaian people conveyed a powerful message, yet often overlooked by us politicians. This message was powerfully emphasized by a giant of American political history, President Ronald Reagan, when he declared at his inauguration some 40 years ago that governments have no power except that granted by the people. While Ghanaians take great pride in our thriving democracy, they are deeply dissatisfied with the quality of governance over the years and have openly voiced that dissatisfaction through the decisive actions that they undertake at the elections. Our people also understand that democracy is not just a token adorned with periodic elections followed by pomp and pageantry with the establishment of a new government. They expect that if democracy is celebrated as a superior means of governance, then its outcomes must be more tangible and benefit them in their individual lives. Any honest introspection and reflection on the pulse of our nation would reveal that many within our population do not feel that they have benefited from or partaking in this democratic dividend. Where people buffeted by severe economic crisis, and hardships. And in the last few years, we have lurched from crisis to crisis. But there is hope on the horizon. Today should mark the beginning of a new opportunity. An opportunity for us to make a difference in our governance and our economic management. We shall reset our dear nation, Ghana. To the millions of my fellow countrymen and women who joined long queues and waited in the sun for their turn to vote for me, you have my sincerest thanks for honoring me. My firm, immutable assurance is that your vote will matter in the work that I'll do to make a difference in the destiny of this dear nation of ours. Your courage to bring change will not go in vain. Our nation was born with much promise. That promise would seem hazy and in doubt now because of all that has happened in the past. But I urge you, my fellow countrymen, not to be sucked into a state of perpetual pessimism. For some time, our country has urgently needed leadership with an unwavering desire to get things done. I, with all humility, assent that I intend to be that leader with your cooperation and your help. As your next leader, I shall strive to exercise sound judgment and be able to make the right calls at the right time. I will have the humility and presence of mind to take responsibility for any challenges and be willing to act firmly and timelessly to resolve the challenges that we face as a nation. Since the elections, I have read and heard the word hope used many times in relation to my presidency and what it should offer the citizens of Ghana. I intend to speak plainly and clearly to you today. And every time I address you subsequently, I intend to always tell you the truth. The circumstances we find ourselves in are indeed dire. But even so, I'll be decisive and swift in my actions. We'll focus our initial efforts on 4 critical areas. The first is economic restoration and stabilization of the macroeconomic environment. Second is the improvement of the business and investment environment to ensure that Ghana is once again open for business. The third is governance and constitutional reforms. And the final, but not the least, is accountability and the fight against corruption. My brothers and sisters, actions have always spoken louder than words. With that in mind, I have entered into a covenant with you, the good people of Ghana, in which I have enumerated 26 actions that I'll take within my first 120 days. There is reason for hope, and there is every reason for hope. But we must also have faith, because faith empowers us to trust the things that will happen. With faith, you believe what you know, and that is why we need faith to be able to achieve our reset. We need a reset with the faith we have in our country and our leadership. We need a reset with the faith we have in our institutions. We need a reset with our faith in our dear nation, Ghana. And by that, I mean in all of us, because all of us are Ghana. You are Ghana, and I am Ghana. All of you seated here today, Ghanaian citizens, you are Ghana. The people who you are with or near you as you watch this on television, in your homes, or listen on radio, or follow on social media, are what we call Ghana. I ask that we enter into the covenant with the Ghana we all love and the good people of our country who make up this dear nation. And I ask that you envision a Ghana that you want to live in, a Ghana that you want to leave behind to your children and your grandchildren. What can you do to help build that better Ghana that we all strive for? What behaviors, what attitudes and mindsets can we reset? We need a reset, and we have faith in Ghana's ability to overcome, excel, and be so successful with this reset that it will be difficult to imagine a time when that was not the case. As we stand at this momentous crossroads in our nation's history, I am honored and humbled to accept the mantle of the President of the Republic of Ghana. Today we celebrate a new administration and herald an unprecedented era of opportunity and transformation. With Nana, Jane, Opoku-Agyeman by my side, we are poised to embark on a journey of progress and inclusivity, united in our vision for a more prosperous Ghana. This day is particularly special for us and for every Ghanaian who dreams of a society where barriers are shattered and ambitions are realized. With the inauguration of Ghana's first female vice president, we have turned a significant page in our history. Nana Jane's ascension to the high office is not merely a personal triumph. It symbolizes our collective commitment to fostering a nation where gender equality and female representation are cherished and amplified. This is a powerful testament to the power of diverse voices to shape the future, voices that have the courage to soar beyond our traditional confines. My brothers and sisters, together as we look to the horizon, we reaffirm our dedication to breaking the glass ceiling that has long hindered many from reaching their full potential. Governance that reflects all segments